As a result of the Alpha invitation, we actually doubled our numbers this fall. Literally, we had twice as many guests on the Alpha course this fall as we had before. So our congregation did get very excited. It just sort of put an energy under everything. And as soon as the faith stories started coming after that very first Alpha course, and we would put those people up in front in the church and they would share how they'd come to Christ at Alpha. Alpha has lit a fire under our church. I think people are very excited about what God has done in the lives of the people who have gone through our Alpha courses. We've seen people come into Alpha from really all different places in life. Some are skeptics. We've had people who are angry at the church. We've had people who are completely apathetic. We've had people that are really seeking for something. And over the course of the 10 weeks, you watch as light bulbs go on and literally be transformed into people who love God and are serving in our church, and that's exciting. So as we've heard the faith stories, it just has ignited our church, and I think we're much more literally outward focused at this point and excited about other forms of evangelism in addition to Alpha. We feel like the weekend is pivotal. People will come on the Alpha course and they'll sort of have maybe an intellectual conversion during the first 5 weeks, because you do hear the basics in the first 5 weeks. But it's on the weekend when people have an experience of God through the Holy Spirit. And we find that that is when people are truly transformed. Our pastor has just seen what it's done for people when they come in to solidify their faith. So it is connected with most of the ministries at our church now. So, for instance, our Young Mothers program, if they find somebody in that program who they feel like doesn't really understand what it means to be a believer, or maybe they're seeking, they'll send them to Alpha. One of the things that's made Alpha so popular with our staff is that people who go through Alpha, who have come in from outside the church, are not apathetic when they finish Alpha. They're very excited about this relationship with Jesus, and they have this amazing experience where they sit around a table with people for 10 weeks and discuss things that really, really matter. And when they leave Alpha, they take that sense of community and that sense of the importance of discussing the deep issues of life, and they take that into these other ministries. So our Alpha people are the ones that are greeters now and involved in men's ministry, women's ministry, all over the board. It's very important that you spend the time to train your team, because it is a different way of doing evangelism. We've always been taught to defend our faith, and Alpha is really not a defense of the faith. Alpha is we lay what Christianity is out in front of people, and we allow the Holy Spirit to move in them. The videos do the teaching, and then when we go to discussion time, people can say whatever they want to say, and they need to be respected in that atmosphere. That's part of what makes Alpha work, is just the respect people feel when they're in the discussion group. So training our leaders not to answer back when something strange is said is probably the hardest part of training. You need to give it time to work into the fiber of the church. If you have a lot of other things competing, I think that would be difficult. I grew up in the church. I've been in ministry for more years than I will tell you. And I always believed that God had the power to transform lives, but a lot of my ministry experience was just frustrating, frankly. You know, you tried and tried to explain to people, tried to get them excited about God, and it just always seemed to be kind of an uphill thing. Since I have been involved in Alpha, I have seen more people completely transformed by the power of God than in the entire time I was in ministry. So this is really what I have waited my entire ministry life to see, is just an outpouring. And it's an outpouring of the Holy Spirit, an outpouring of the power of God, and people literally being transformed by that power.